What's up, boys and girls? The Gypsy back at it again. I'm at my work spot. I'm gonna do a real quick prediction video before the fight starts with Joshua and Helenius. I got AJ. Hopefully, when I upload it, the fight hasn't ended because it can end real quickly. I got Joshua knocking out Helenius with an overhand right. I mean, it's right there for Joshua to take it. I see it happening. Maybe he follows up with a few more combinations, but I think he ultimately knocks out Helenius. Probably, I hope for his improvement. Maybe he's developed a little more with Derek James. Within 6, he knocks him out, and he knocks him out hopefully in devastating fashion, because that'd be interesting. Not because I want the bad for Helenius. I hope he's in good condition. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. And for tonight's fight, which I'm probably going to miss, is a really epic fight. This is not an epic fight for me. The epic fight would be probably with Valdez versus Navarrete. I got Navarrete winning that, but it ain't going to be an easy one. It's going to go, I think it's going to be a decision. I think maybe Navarrete might get dropped once at least and get back up. I believe that Navarrete is the one that's going to win the fight between Valdez. But I would not be surprised if Valdez KOs him. So, like, the betting odds would probably be, like, Valdez by KO and Navarrete by decision. But I'm not even sure if he can probably get a decision but with Valdez, because of, the sport is dirty, and all that kind of stuff. But you never know. He's the younger guy that might give it to him and all that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping that he does pull it off. So we got like a fresh new face in the 130-pound division. Dominating force, I would say. And yeah, he got dropped by the other guy. What was his name? I forgot, that white boy that got dropped him, Navarrete, that is. But that was a clean, good shot, like, I was on the button, so you can't really, it's kind of like all on his feet. I mean, perfect hook by that kid, I forgot his name, the guy that dropped Navarrete. But I'm not saying that Valdez can't land that shot. I think Valdez can land that shot. Valdez has that ability to do that, but I think Navarrete is gonna swarm him with a lot of punches. Valdez doesn't throw a lot of punches. He's going to swarm him with a lot of punches. And who knows, maybe that was Navarrete's, it was Navarrete's, he's trying to climatize. That was his first fight at 130, if I'm not mistaken. So he's climatizing. So it might take a bit for him to get, but the second fight, I'm pretty sure he's going to be even better than what he was in the first, being 130. So he was probably not as conditioned, but he was pretty good. Either way, he stopped him. He stopped the guy that dropped him. So you got to give him credit for that. Navarrete, that is. He's pretty good, but he's not really good. He's a very weird type boxer, but Navarrete, he got tricks, a lot of tricks based on the style he fights. And that's going to give Valdez a lot of problems. Valdez, I'm not saying he ain't going to have no success in this fight. I think he's going to have success. Yes, there's pictures of Joshua versus Helenius, but there's 2 fights going on today where I'm not really interested in this fight. I'm kind of interested in this fight with Joshua and Helenius, but I think it's like a foregone conclusion that Joshua's going to probably knock out Helenius within 6. But Valdez versus Navarrete, it's kind of more of a difficult fight to pick out, and I think I'm leaning towards Navarrete. And I had a video up, by the way, for what I think happened between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. It was a beautiful video, but try as I might, I copyright bullshit, bro. Like, they're not allowing me to put that video up. And it was me saying I got a little more creative with that video, and I had some good stuff on it, bringing the animal kingdom into it, because Errol Spence thinks himself as a lion, but in that case, Terrence Crawford was a tiger, and tigers fight better than lions do. contrary to a lot of people that don't know, the popular belief that lions are the better fighter, but tigers are better fighters than lions are, and faster in every way, and stronger and heavier, and all that stuff. So, and Terrence, I'll put my little piece in it if I just in case I never can ever post this video up of Terrence versus Errol Spence review. Terrence was way too strong for Errol Spence, and that's not going to change much of anything in the second fight if they ever have it in the 154. Terrence was way too strong for the guy, bro. He got clipped with shots that would have, if it was, when he first got in the 147, would have stunned him. But now, it looked like he was 2 weight divisions above. Literally 2 weight divisions above. That's why they're talking about Terrence Crawford fighting in Canelo. I don't think that fight can take place, but if it does, at best it's going to be in 160. But I don't know if Terrence is willing to do that. We'll see as time goes. I think he annihilates anybody in 154. Nobody stands. Geronimo is going to get whooped if he ever fights Terrence. I mean, there was a huge strength difference, bro. And he's increased strength even from the Porter fight. And in a way, he started off in the 10th round where, he was dialed in. Just like that, he started off with Sean Porter, that is. When he fought Sean Porter in the 10th round, he fought Sean Porter in the 10th round throughout the whole fight with Errol Spence. He was dialed in, and he's a natural southpaw. He's a natural southpaw. There's no once he figures you out on the orthodox stance, then he switches out to southpaw. No, there ain't no such thing, bro. He knew that he took Errol as a serious threat, which Errol wasn't really a serious threat for him because of the strength difference. It was like watching Beterbiev fight Gvozdyk. That's how it was. There's a huge strength gap. For Errol to be able to beat Terrence Crawford, my prediction was because I thought Errol was stronger than him. Errol obviously had good condition. They both had really good conditioning. But my prediction was that Errol was stronger than him. Hits harder than him. Neither one of those two are true. Terrence hits harder than him. Terrence has more durability than him. That's another thing that was a major factor that I thought, because Terrence was dropped by Velasquez. I was assuming that was the case. But that wasn't the case at all. Terrence maybe tweaked up a little bit of, did some workouts for his chin to be even stronger, because they said they did something with the UFC training regimen or something like that. I don't know, but because his chin, dude, I've never seen his chin being like that, that durable. Not only was his chin durable, as I said, he came in in the 10th round with Sean Porter, and on top of all that, he was clearly the stronger man. And I don't know if you guys ever seen Errol Spence lifting weights. Errol Spence does not really lift heavy. He's more of a bag guy. He hits the bag. He gets his strength off of boxing alone. But Terrence is a strong, he's a weightlifting dude too on top. He's a strong dude, bro. Like I did not expect that. No, I think anybody expected that. They can say whatever. They say, yeah, I thought Terrence would win. Yeah, I got nothing against, but they think that Errol was gonna get dominated to that fashion, to that level. No one saw that, bro. Maybe very few individuals did. Very, very few individuals thought that. Like that. No, Terrence Crawford personally, probably. They've seen him do certain things, But other than that, nobody saw that, bro. Terrence is on a different level. Terrence can fight 154. He can even make it 160s. I mean, I think if he can't get a fight with Canelo, he could probably get a fight with Golovkin. That would be a tough matchup. But we have to see how he does in 154, which I think he's going to dominate. At 160, that's a different story. 168, I don't see him going ever. But to fight Canelo 168, if there's a fight with Canelo, it's going to be on 160, not 168. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, people compare him to Terrence Crawford, to Mayweather, and Pacquiao and all these guys. And realistically, bro, I think both Errol and Terrence Crawford could have beaten Mayweather and Pacquiao, both of them. Both guys, Spence and Terrence Crawford, could have beaten both Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Because if Maidana could edge out a victory even though he didn't get it in Maidana style, so what do you think Errol can't do that against Mayweather? Think about it. They could have beat. I'm not saying they would beat him. That's a different story. Depending on the time and, you know, the fight, you know, you never know what fights. You know what I mean? I think with Errol, I think Terrence for sure would have beaten Mayweather. Terrence, I've always thought that Pacquiao avoided Terrence Crawford. I think it was a horrible matchup for him. I think Terrence would have beaten Pacquiao. And Spence obviously proved it with the Ugas victory, how he dominated Ugas, that Pacquiao couldn't do. But that Pacquiao was obviously not the younger version. It was the older version. But either way, I think the way he dominated Ugas, that would have been prime Pacquiao versus prime Spence. That would have been competitive, but I think Spence would have edged it out. But Terrence, bro, I think Terrence would have knocked out Pacquiao. And same thing with Mayweather. I don't think he would have knocked out Terrence, but he would have given him a beating. That would have been easy to knock out Mayweather because he's so defensively good. Terrence, yeah. So these guys are both up there. I think they're better. They're not better than the Mayweather and Pacquiao, because even if let's say Errol and Terrence could beat Pacquiao at 147, that doesn't take anything away. Anything, and I repeat, and listen all the way to the video and don't be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That doesn't take anything away from Pacquiao and Mayweather, because them two guys moved up in more weight divisions than, don't even talk about Errol. Errol stayed at 147, than Terrence Crawford, let's just say. 8 division champion, 5 division champion. That doesn't take anything away from Mayweather's greatness. It's still, Mayweather would be realistically better than Terrence and what's his name? Errol Spence. It'd be better. And even Pacquiao. Obviously Pacquiao. They'd be better because they've moved multiple weight divisions, bro. They did that shit in a lot more divisions. While these guys, one of them stayed in one division for all his career, and then finally he's thinking about moving up, and the other one did it in 3 divisions. But that being said, boxing wise and stylistically and all that kind of shit, I think Terrence Crawford has more. I've felt this before. I won't say felt this. I kind of estimated in my head that it might be true, I would say. But I wasn't too certain. But now I'm kind of like, I'm kind of leaning towards that Terrence skills might be slightly better than Mayweather's, in offense wise at least. Defense, not so much, no. But offense wise, I mean, then again, Mayweather was not much of an offense guy. So, but yeah, not to take anything away from those guys, but I think Pacquiao and Mayweather, I think Errol and Terrence would have beaten them at 147. Keep in mind what I'm saying. At 147, taking nothing away from Mayweather and Pacquiao's greatness. That doesn't change anything. But man, what I saw from Terrence, bro, or if, you know, shit, bro, like if he was fighting Roy Jones Jr., I don't know why, bro, but if they were the same weight division, if Roy was in his prime and Terrence at his prime fighting the same weight division, I think Terrence has a legitimately good shot at beating Roy, prime Roy, because he's got good, as I said before in my prediction video, he sets up traps way better than Errol Spence. And that could also mean not just from Errol Spence, but not just from Errol, better than Errol Spence. I think he's better than Roy, better than, because I said offensively he's better than Mayweather. So even Mayweather, he sets up better traps than those guys. When I say way better, I mean way better than Errol Spence. But Errol knows how to set traps too, just like any other fighter would, but at an elite level. But anyways, yeah, that's my forte on the fight that happened a couple weeks ago between Errol and Terence Crawford. I think Crawford is definitely on his way to be he's on his GOAT status. He's getting closer to ultimate greatest of all time. If he beats Canelo, bro, there is no question. You gotta put him up there with all time, probably the best that ever did it. If he beats Canelo, if that fight ever takes place, and if he does beat Canelo, which I don't think he can, at 160, I don't feel like he can, but he does have more skill because of the fact that Canelo's so strong. But then again, if Terence does the same thing, what he did with Errol Spence with his strength, then nobody suspected him being this strong at 147. If he does that same thing at 160, bro, that's insane. You have to give him greatest of all time. He's better than Mayweather at that point, resume-wise. And even Pacquiao. Even though Pacquiao went up 8 weight divisions, he's gonna be better than those guys. You can't say he's not once he beats Canelo. You have to say he's better than Mayweather. Come on. Everybody would. You have to bow down and say, yes, that's it. You're the best, bro. You have to admit it. Anyways, yeah. So my prediction for these fights that happened today, and I'm gonna probably miss it, is Joshua by 6th round within 6 KO of Helenius. Hopefully it didn't happen. Hopefully I can post this up as soon as possible. And Valdez loses to Navarrete in a decision, maybe close because of maybe a 1 knockdown or probably 2 knockdowns. But Navarrete kind of pulls it off by giving him a good beating. Maybe, I don't think he drops Valdez, but give him a beating. Yeah, that's my predictions for today's fights. It's been the Gypsy. Nice talking to y'all. And peace out. I'm at work. I'm going to watch these fights after I get off work tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, that is. Bye.